Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In regards to the face, the hairline down to the chin, like I mentioned, and what is between the ears of the right ear, the troughs of the right ear, and the troughs of the left ear. It is important that one does not fold the lips past the makrojat, point of articulation, or letter ba, as lips are considered part of the face. Meaning that when you wash the face, you get these crevices, this crevices as well. All of that. So, and then the next, you wipe the head. When you wipe the head, you wipe the head from the two fingers here, interlock from the front after to the back. One wipe, and it's recommended as a sunnah to bring it back forward. If you don't have any hair, then one wipe to the back is sufficient. But if you have hair, after wipe to the back, then you bring it back to the front. This is after you wash the hands up to the elbows. You wipe the head. Then washing the feet. Washing the feet to include the ankles. The sixth is uninterruptedly. And consistently, uninterruptedly, which is al-fara'id. And 7 is rubbing. A duckle, rubbing. Each limb. Now, in regards to the hands up to the elbows, like I said, from the fingertips, in this case, including the elbows, and in regards to the wiping of the head, like I mentioned, you just simply use wet hands and start from the hairline to the back of the head. You wash it. In regards to the feet, the feet are washed in the totality, including the ankles and not beyond. It is equally important to wash between the toes. To wash between the toes. In regards to uninterruptedly, this means washing the next limb immediately after previous limb without a very long break in between. A very long while, and considered to be the duration long enough for the previous limb to completely dry, meaning that type of break is too long to not continue the wudu. In that regard, in that regard, you would have to repeat the wudu. In regards to rubbing, it is not sufficient to let water run over your limbs. Right? It is obligatory to rub the limbs. Each limb, you know what I'm saying, to rubbing, to make sure that the water heat hits every crevice. And it is also obligatory while washing the face that you penetrate through your beard if the hair of your beard is light to the point that you can see the skin underneath. However, if it is too much or thick, then it is not obligatory to penetrate through it. Like I said, you just make muscle over it, you just wipe over it. Similarly, it is obligatory while washing the hands that you wash between the fingers according to the mashhur. of the prominent position in the madhab. Alhamdulillah, someone had called me while I'm recording the class, and it interrupted the past recording. The previous recording was at 9 minutes, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna just do a part 2 and this video part 3 as well when I load it up to YouTube. Now, the sunnah acts of wudu. The sunnah acts of wudu are 8. And it's only mentioning what is sunnah. It's not mentioning the first was the fara'id, and then this is mentioning the sunnah. The sunnah is first washing the hands to the wrist at the beginning of the wudu, and this is for this purpose is really just so that you can clean the hands, because the wudu or the prayer of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to make wudu out of a vessel. So when he will make his begin his wudu, he will make his niyyah, make his intention, and then he would start with the next, after the intention being the fara'id, then he will start with the sunnah, which he will wash the hands, including everything, including the nails, up under the nails, the crevices up to the wrist, just for the purpose to clean the hands. After cleaning the hands, then he would dip his right hand into the water, rinse out the mouth, right? And the sunnah acts is 3, but according to the school of the Amal Ahl Medina, if you can wash and clean each body part with one wash, then it's sufficient. But it's best to do 3 because it's sunnah, and the purpose is to uphold the sunnah and follow the sunnah. All right, and you rinse out the mouth 3 times. Then you take fresh water again, and you slightly inhale the water and blow out. You rinse out the nose. Exhaling, blowing out water and then you exhale, blowing out water of the nose. Then returning the wiping of the head from the back, this is sunnah, wiping the head to the front. And as I had mentioned in the fara'id of wiping the head to the back is fara'id, and I demonstrated wiping the head to the front is sunnah. But it's in regards to your if, like, say with me, I have a little bit of hair, so I'll wipe to the front. Now, a person who has locks is permissible, for a man and a woman to have. If you have locks, then when you wipe the head, you will make sure that your hands get to the scalp and to every piece of lock that you have, all the way to the end. So you will wipe it back, and then you will bring the hair till you get every piece of the water touch every piece of hair. That's if you have locks. If you have French braids, then the same will apply. You make sure that the water touches every braid. And you renew the water, wiping the ears. Wiping the ears. Some practice is that when you first wipe the head to the back, you also wipe the back of the ears. And you wipe your head to the front, you wipe the back of the ears. That's not included in the wiping. You know what I'm saying? You take fresh water and then you wipe the ears. That's included. That's the sunnah. Following the order of the fara'id, the obligatory acts. Meaning, like when I mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ, he washed his hands first. I mean, he made his intention. Then he washed his hands. He started with the fara'id, then the sunnah, then the sunnah to rinse out the mouth, then inhale in the nose and blow out. Then wash the face, which is far. Then you wash the hands, tip of the fingers up to the elbows, which is far. Then you wipe the head to the back, which is far. Then you wipe the head to the front, which is sunnah. Then you take fresh water and you wipe the ears, which is sunnah. And then you wash the feet, all right, up to the elbows. And this is following the order of the fara'id, all right, and the fara'id and the wudu, I mean, and the sunnah, okay. To add an addition to that is that when you're making wudu and you forget to do a sunnah, then you do not leave, and you on, like, say you make wudu, you wash your hands, but you forget, and you wash your mouth, but you forget to wash out the nose. The minute you wash the face, you know what I'm saying, go to the sunnah, I mean to the fara'id, washing the face, you cannot go back. You can't go from a fara'id back to a sunnah. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to you wash the face, then wash the hands up to the elbows, wipe the head, and then wipe the head from to the back, then wipe the head to the front. You have to complete the wudu and then go back to the sunnah that you missed. The same with a fara'id. If you miss a fara'id, you complete the wudu, then you go back and you wash the fara'id. If you forgot to wipe or whatever, wash, you go back and complete that act. The fada'il, meritorious acts of wudu, are 7. Saying Bismillah at the beginning, or saying Bismillah as the dhikr that you when you wash each limb, Bismillah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, La ilaha illallah, as the dhikr. That's a fara'id. Doing wudu in a clean place, I mean, that's a fada'il. Doing wudu in a clean place is another fada'il. That's 2. Using a minimum amount of water without any specific limit. All right, this is also a fada'il. Placing the water container on the right side if it is open on top. 5, to wash twice or 3 times after having done the first. Like I mentioned, is if you can clean each limb, each piece of wudu one time with one wiping, one wash, then it's sufficient. But the meritorious, the fada'il, is to keep the sunnah, you wash twice or 3 times. 6, beginning from the front of the head when wiping is a fada'il and a fard. And 7, using the siwak, brushing the teeth. Subhanakallahumma, and Allah knows best. And this completes the part 2 and part 3 of the Matn Ashmawiyya. And next week I will continue with part 4, which will be on ghusl. And Allah knows best. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati ma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulil kareem. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.